Hi everyone, my name is Hannah and this is Pepper and Pine, and today I am answering your homeschool questions. This is a really great question and I hope that I can answer it because I don't think there's going to ever be one exact answer to answer this question. How do you discern you have done quote unquote enough in your day, month, and year? Okay. When I was first homeschooling, we were homeschooling through our local county, so our district rather, and our district would give us a stack of books and the teacher's manuals, and we would take them home and we would work through them. And my child was 5, and that completely collapsed our love of learning. It was terrible. It took several years for us to recuperate from that, just because I had all of these ideas on how I wanted to homeschool, and that was not it. And so I thought I could do this for a week, this structured kind of public school approach. And then the rest of the time I would do more of like my ideas inspired by the Waldorf approach. Well, that did not work at all. It completely collapsed our love of learning. So we did that for a year. And then the following year we moved to a different school, thinking I'd have a little bit more flexibility and freedom with our homeschool approach, and we didn't. It was basically the same kind of program, just with the county versus the local district. So we went with our we went with our school district locally, then we went with our school district by the county. It was basically the same format. By 6 months I realized, or mid-year, I realized this wasn't working. And by mid-year we completely changed and we homeschooled independently. We just were not accountable to the state or the county at all. That was really great. We really found our stride as homeschoolers. We felt like we were really learning again. And then about a year and a half after that, a lot of our local friends were joining a homeschool charter schools. So these were virtual, or rather not virtual, they were not brick and mortar charter schools. They were charter schools that catered to the homeschooling community. And I'm like, this is great. We're getting all of this funding to buy a lot of the books that you might see, or the projects that we were doing. And this was really fantastic for us because we were getting support in a way financially, and then we were also still homeschooling. So it seemed like just the best of both worlds. But we did have to submit work samples, like our homeschool samples, and we did have to do some state testing and some school testing. And eventually I found that we were just doing school for the tests and just doing school to submit samples. And so I saw again our learning completely plummet, because at the end of the day, if I had a sample for our teacher, then I'm like, well, then we did enough. And that was not great for us, because I would go to sleep at night thinking, I really just didn't do enough for my children, and I really don't feel good about the approach that or the direction that we're going in, and I don't feel like this is in line with the philosophy that really inspired me early on. So about a year after that or so, maybe even a year and a half, I finally stopped teaching to the tests, stopped teaching to the work samples. I completely threw all of that out mentally and just focused entirely on homeschooling the way we wanted to homeschool. So this is a good 5 years into our homeschool journey before I finally found our stride, and I really worked with our rhythms and our routines to find something that worked well for us. And I really dove deep into the Waldorf philosophy, did our main lesson blocks, really loved it. It was tough. It was a big challenge, mind you. But by that point, I felt really good about what we were doing. And that's when I finally felt that I was doing enough, because I felt like it was authentic to our goals, authentic to me and the philosophy that we had chosen to follow in our homeschool. And even if we didn't hit every target, I felt like it was enough, because it finally felt true and authentic and in line with the ideas that I really wanted. And so my advice for you is to learn what your values are, learn what your priorities are, because that will be the quickest way for you to understand for yourself if you are doing enough in your homeschool.